This truck did not have a front section on it.
Okay.
Jeremy said it can be added and it's still under, as of right now.
Which truck?
This is the new one that I'm looking at now.
Uh-huh.
It would still be under the 300,000.
Cool.
So,
But the question, I know Chuck did it, the last time we did it with a green truck, we were on the assumption it was gonna get painted, and then when it came, the itemized bill, it was $25,000
Right.
that we didn't know.
nope.
I think front suction is, personally, I think front suction is much different than.
yeah.
Well, my question
Yeah.
is, if the truck is the right height, we can get it in. Are we gonna be agreeable? Does it have to go to a town vote because it's extra going onto the truck? It's gonna be 15, 20,000.
I don't think, the reason that we did with the paint was because it felt, like a choice that was being made. And I tried to talk to Ryan about it multiple times, about having a discussion, and honestly, it was more a response to the attitude of, well, what the town doesn't know doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
And I disagree with that. I think front suction is much different. It's not as discretionary. It's an option that I know that we could function without front suction, but it's better if it has it.
Right, like the
You
color
heard
doesn't
me say-
affect the truck
This
operating.
truck's
If that makes
But-
sense.
The new truck's red. But the front suction does affect how we use it. So like that's the difference, I
I
guess.
think the biggest thing is like without front section, the driver.
Okay. Okay.
Right, and I heard you guys say that, and
Dry hydrant over the boat lane.
Makes it a lot easier to drive.
so, I mean, I don't think that has to be handled that way, because I think it's about the function of the truck.
Well, I just wanna get jammed up where
No.
you're looking at, like we said, 15 to 20,000. Okay, it's an option put on the truck, but I didn't know, does it gotta go to the town vote again?
I don't think so. I think it's different.
Okay.
Like, to my mind,
Yeah, I mean, because it's already piped.
The pump's all ready for it.
It's just
It
gonna
just
be
needs
piped
to have the
out.
line run to the front now.
The only thing about that two truck that won't be pump tested. We're
It'll
gonna
be
take
all
it somewhere
certified.
else. Yeah, but it's certified, but when we have to do it, they can't do it in Nova, with the front section. It's gotta go somewhere.
It has a
else.
side section.
Oh,
That's
don't
section.
you have certified the front too?
No,
No.
as long as the pump's certified,
Oh, okay.
but it's gonna come with a
What,
state certified pump.
what year is
This one is an
But we don't know the height yet.
I'm just waiting for Jeremy to get back to me on the height. I just reached out and said, hey, what about this truck? Can this be done? And he said,
What were the hours?
it's got 37,000 miles on it. Just so you guys know before you call Jeremy. With the
I really talk with him about what the truck needs to have, because one of the things that he told me through the process before was that if we- the yellow truck, he
when I talked to Jeremy, I said, listen, I said, do you know where you're coming? He's like, nope.
okay.
The height. So, and I said, listen, I need the back of this truck, if this is a truck that's gonna work. or 10. So he's giving me those measurements, the rear wheels back and then height.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was like, not a little bit of a gap.
Where I was at with this one. And that's where I left it. I said, I need measurements, so.
And what was the length on that?
This one, you do. This one is 3610. So. Have him use this one for the pickup, and we'll use one of the long. That would.
Floor drain, because when he's out plowing with that truck and it's covered in snow and stuff.
They cut the concrete and put a bump in. So I don't know. But anyway, that was.
Right, okay.
That was just a thought, because like I said, Jonathan and JD weren't involved in the whole other thing with JD and all that. They're like, don't worry about where trucks are gonna go, just.
Well, no, that's kind of gotta get figured out
I
before
get
anything comes.
I get
Yeah.
that.
You know, because like, that green one out there is irking on me pretty hard.
Just a little nip, chance.
You can't keep vehicles outside.
No. We're hoping, when we do finally get a truck, we rearrange, Chuck and I, we talked about maybe talking to Barrel Bank and doing like we did with Dover. If we make a letter and sign it come fall, the Barrel Bank don't have a tanker and they're looking for one, that
They don't have a
sign up, they don't have one. They could store it, keep it over there for the winter and use it when they need to, and they would roll it here if we needed, or if we needed it up here, they'd come this way with it, so.
And so we've been so long without the second tank truck that
With mutual aid.
I
and-
know that we can't legally sell that truck,
We could donate.
but
No,
they could make a donation
oh,
to
right,
us,
Yeah.
Monson, and we give them that.
you would give them the tanker.
Okay.
It's an option.
It's an option.
I know we can't sell it. If we got rid of it, it had to go to another fire department, but they said that would let us recoup
Yeah, they
some
give
of
them
the
donation, that,
lights and stuff that we've done
Yeah.
to fix
yeah,
it.
when that sit outside and they'd have a good home.
Which truck is that you're looking,
Well, the one that we're
that
talking,
one that you're looking at, which one?
it's the 2000 Sari, the 7 Ferrera.
2007.
So the way to do the, oops, sorry. So the way to do this, where it says, would you like a truck with a warranty? You have to
If you
click
yes.
click yes, and then come over onto this screen in between two trucks and click, and then it'll show it's on page 2.
Okay.
Cause those trucks that have warranty are the ones that Brindley Mountains. And like I said, I've looked at a bunch of these trucks and it just, none of them have the water capacity. The other trucks, and a couple of trucks I looked at are way too tall. They won't fit.
What's the capacity?
With 1,000 gallon a minute
Yeah.
pump, 1,000 gallon a minute tank. I'm sorry, 1,000 gallon. But a lot of the trucks you look on there are city trucks, 500 gallons,
Yeah.
where they have a hydrant system.
Yeah.
Right.
And plus, stay within the mutual aid agreement. They look at that, we should at least have 1,000 gallons for one,
Eh,
you know, that's just stand.
And when like their the homeowners insurances do like their revals of the fire department and give them their SO whatever ratings where we don't have a hydrant system, they look at how much water we can carry. So that's another thing that I just learned.
He didn't.
All
Yeah,
right.
I need the measurements height wise.
Was he gonna give those tonight to us?
Yeah, I don't know. He might have, he didn't email me today to tell me that he had them. He put the request in to get them. And it took him a day and a half to get back. He said, yeah, we can add a front section to that truck. So it's kind of open.
They'd have the measurement.
All right.
And he might have gotten that by now, Terry. He just.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not negotiating price with him. I'm just. Well, what he's getting.
I'm looking at the truck. He couldn't tell you what the price, we're not gonna go, we're staying out of that mess, we're not getting in that again.
That one had the 48 seats in it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a six man, 6 passenger, 4 SCBA.
It's just like we get up here, the same truck, 6-man cab.
It's made, it's still like the.
So. Snap on out the door, they got them.
I've looked at a lot of, but I didn't know what you guys needed, or, you know.
Like I said, Jeremy knows what we're looking for, top mount, 1,000 gallon.
And the only reason I brought that up is that, because like I said, it was a whole different thing about the paint. The truck really didn't need to be painted, and they tried to hide it in the thing till the itemized bill come out. All I wanted to be is up front with you guys, you with us. I understand if the front section, they can do it, yes, that'd be huge for us with some of the dry hydrants.
Said I-
because they're drive in.
I think, and we can check with Jeremy. Yeah. I think he said this truck was 249. The way it sits.
Yeah.
If they add the front section, it's like 15,000 or more. So you're still under 300.
Still well understand. So,
And I'm not, I mean, I'm not opposed to we have up to 350. If
Right.
there's a new, like, I mean, if any of the newer trucks that would give us more years, if any of those could either be piped for front suction, or if there's any that are sort of in that
Gray
could be
area of
made
what
to,
you.
right, could be made to work. Like, I think the newer the truck, the more years of service, and it's justifiable to
Correct.
spend more money. Like, and you educate me right now, like, my son actually went on, he emailed me this one. Cause my son is 10 and he's really into this. And like, it has 4 SCBA seats, it's 9'11".
With the length.
It's 34 something. It's 34.1. It's 335.
is that ourselves these right now?
Like, I don't know enough. Like, I honestly,
What page you on?
it's on the first page of the
Warren
warranty.
had the front section, but again, We never had one years and years down the road, we never did that.
I mean, if you're gonna have something that's 10 years newer, a little bit more money without the front collection.
They're willing to do it.
Smart.
I think it goes new.
You're gonna be over 350 when they add it.
Add up to do
I don't know if that one.
That one may not have been the warrant. It may have switched screens back on me again. Cause I didn't think that one had the warranty and then. it
What would
just
have to
right
be
there.
done to the dry hydrants in order to make them more accessible?
The one in Willamette, you can't move because you can't hook it to the bridge. It would have to be hooked to the bridge itself.
Yeah.
And it's, if you look at Beard Office, they built the road when they built
Yeah.
that dry hydrant in. That dry hydrant's been there for a while. I don't know exactly when they put that in.
We'd like
Go
to take,
some of Herman's hydrants.
we'd like to take the dry hydrant over by the pub, over here. I'd like to take it out and hook it onto the fence right in the canal. And then you can just pull it
So right
upside.
beside it.
You don't have to worry about moving people over the boat landing, trying to get in. We can just do it right on Main Street. Hook it right up, right to the hydrant. You could pour it upside that. If we had the draft, we had something right in the middle of the town.
So John, that truck that you just showed us, that had a price on it.
Yeah, and
And so that is not,
it is not there.
that's not a rental.
That's not Brennan.
I just realized that.
Yeah.
I said, I've looked at a bunch of these. The height and
I know that is, it's interesting and we'll have to talk to Jeremy a little bit. Because he indicated that he could find,
I think that was before we made our deposit.
yeah, I'm sure it was.
And because I was trying to think
I'm
about,
on with him that if they get a truck,
yeah.
I'm gonna get a copy of that truck coming in before it goes online.
Cool.
He set that up for me.
Good.
Look at the wrong,
Because I would like to find a truck that's newer than 2007. If that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. But I mean, I feel like more years of service, even
So that one wasn't through Brindley Mountain. That was just something.
it's on the website, but it's
No.
from.
It's not a truck that they own,
So-
but it's a truck that they broker.
Right.
So
So-
could they broker it or buy it and then
and sell it to
turn
us.
around and sell it? Well, I'm sure they could probably get a deal off. They're gonna get a better deal than another,
Us.
entity coming in saying, yeah, I'll take that truck for $335. So say if they get it for
They
$300
and
and
35, they may cost us more. I don't know how much more, but.
well, if they buy it, say for $300 and they say, well, we want $340 for it.
It's still. It's like you guys, you're the money maker, we're just trying to get a truck in here. That one, come on,
Did you say that they had 1,000 gallon?
it's sure,
It's good.
1,000 gallon minute pump you need.
you need that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it's almost
And one
5:30.
thing I asked Chuck about was those SCBA's. Say if it only came with 3, rip a regular seat out and throw a SCBA seat.
Like I said, some of them you can do that with.
Some you can.
Some of them only have a jump seat, so it's not gonna, it won't work, because there's no seat. Really wish I could get this.
Did Brian ever come across anything in his research that
He was looking, he saw a really nice truck, it was red and white, he called me. And, it was a 750-pound, 1,000-gallon, 4-wheel drive, 6-man cab. But then we got to the height, I don't think it's gonna come in.
Full drive truck, you're at least a foot taller.
Yeah.
And like that, I've never run a full drive fire truck
I
anyway.
mean, you saw a
It's more
beautiful truck, but then the height was
Yeah.
not gonna make it in. It would take it longer than what. But he hasn't really Pretty much.
Was there any other specifications that it needed other than, you know, the pumps, the storage, the seats?
You at least want the 4-man, 6-man cab. And you wanna make sure you got plenty of storage and good stuff that we need to fight fire on the truck. But it's tough, because every time you look at something, it's either not so new, and then you start getting toward the new ones, they're a little bit bigger, and they got stuff
Brand new
on.
one that I had him price out was $758
That's brand new,
is the new price.
$758 for brand new one.
And that's a $38,000 deduction from what it would be. Because when we first talked to Ed Pollard, that from Ferrara, that the town wanted to pay for the truck up front and not go through their financing. So that's a $38,000 savings by doing that. But they fell in for it. I know you're deaf, Terry, but
We figured out when getting the truck.
Yeah,
so he said, somebody mentioned something about a new truck. And I did have him requote it.
No, that probably would be a little bit higher than what would be able to approach the town. Well, you know, like some of the people that were talking to us about new trucks, you know, probably didn't have all of these options on.
Right.
You know, $400,000 or $500,000.
Well,
That would be something.
that truck was I want to say 585 when we first started looking.
Mm.
And with the new updates, because they can't get the L9 motor, so they had to go to the new motor. That drove it up. And then these new NFPA standards that they're trying to push through. Like I said, they're trying to set all these trucks up so they don't have to go back and redo them. So, and if you buy a new truck, you were talking 2 years, what we got it anyway if we ordered it.
Are they still 2 years? Because the people I talked to said it was like 6 months to a year.
I don't know what you're talking to, but.
I'll tell you another brand new Brian's tanker, that's been out there.
The tankers, yes, the
2.5
tankers,
years.
I heard the tankers were taking longer than engines.
Their engine that they got just came, I think, around last year or something, that was 2.5, almost 3 years.
They were telling us 2 years, 18 to 24 months minimum when we were looking at brand new trucks.
Yeah.
When
Now
the
they're
guys
even
came.
further out.
And I called about a demo truck that was all said they had one coming off the line in September that had stuff that we wanted, but it was even more money than that. And I'm like, oof. I mean, I bought Sanglo's last engine 10 years ago. That's a regular cab, commercial Freightliner. And that was $279 10 years ago.
Yeah, they're just going up and up and up. It's crazy.
Like I said, the new motors is that jacked it
But I mean,
40 grand.
if that, he could call us with the specs, the height and stuff, I mean, it'd be a perfect truck for us. And if they had front section, we can go for it, I mean, we don't know backing in, coming up on that incline.
That's why I want the measurements. So
Yeah.
I said, I'm just gonna look. You give me these, and he said,
Right.
like we did the other one.
Yeah, these are-
I'm gonna call Susan Collins.
yeah, I know.
You know what, but I mean, if you could fund
What?
the whole building.
Yes. So whenever we're ready.
I don't open.
And that thing opens, say, hey, remember us?
So are we ready to call Jeremy and go ask him a few questions? Maybe he has some.
doesn't do it, the guys in the shop do it.
Right.
If he says, well, I can probably find you something in,
Right.
we would have more than one option on the table, we can punch through. More we have lined up.
Just hope that later we get.
Say it all, he
Yeah.
knows, he knows.
But we just don't wanna get to the point where we say, well, we gotta buy something, then buy something, be like,
Right, I don't
this,
do that either.
yeah.
We know what the truck gets in, make sure it's in the building fits. So,
Low miles. From this whole line. 112,000.
Yeah.
Just in one that's in as a 93 and it's got 60.
Yeah, it seems like I just click on a couple and, you know, got over 100,000.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they can, the diesel engine, it can go forever, but.
Yeah, but what's the
I
breakdown?
still-
Right, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
I think you. Pump hours too, as far as.
yeah. You know, it's, we stay up there, pump house, really get up there, that's sort of, yeah.
This truck has almost 10,000 engine hours.
Yeah, see, that means they might.
Yeah.
On the.
I'm full of them. They run it right away.
Probably is. 3,000.
Do you have a different number for Jeremy, Chuck?
Oh, we never asked if there. It goes downhill with who's not here.
Sorry.
256 361 6532. That's what you have to. Okay. Well, maybe I'll give him a minute and then I'll get. Somebody's gonna get annoyed.
You get a torch waving her. Drop phone.
One,
You can, you may not like the results of that.
we know how much of the deposit we would lose at this
No.
point.
We don't.
Jeremy told me we wouldn't lose it, we're not gonna lose anything.
No, I mean,
If we buy from them, but if we didn't, how much of our deposit would we lose? That I don't know either. And he told me that it would be a portion, but it wouldn't be all of it. Right. Right.
Hopefully we can find and buy it from them, so we keep this.
no, I was thinking buying it from them still, but if we, I mean, it would be a truck without a warranty at that point, which.
Yeah.
If we have the option to go with.
So, maybe a silly question, why would they sell a truck without a warranty?
Because they don't-
Selling them for somebody.
You can't, yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, it was on the warranty.
Yeah, that's what we do, yeah.
You don't want it, yeah, I mean, be uncomfortable for somebody that didn't have it.
Like this one has, this one only has 3, there's 2 there, and the passenger that's it.
Yeah.
And then you get the little flip down seat for the sit up, rather than have an actual seat. So that's the other 2 seats that are in the back.
Couldn't just take those two out and bolt one right to the floor.
Right. Right.
Does your other tanker have any, those seats in it? No.
Got one.
Got one?
The big one over there's got one gym seat there. Because of that, what that does is, it's a two-man cab, it's got an airback seat in it. So if they got a tanker to a structure fire, say Chuck's driving, and I'm in that seat, and we get there to dump water, and they don't have enough pack, then I can put that right on and start working, and he can just keep shoveling water, so.
So would that, say if like that truck only had 3 and that truck, I mean, if you go to 5, both those trucks are going, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully it should be. We hope.
So say like that one had 3, that one had 1, would that work as far as being 4?
That's what we have the guys.
The
If we
biggest
have
thing
the
is
guys,
too, with, when you, like the engine, when we do a mutual aid call, we
Yeah.
only have to take one truck.
Hmm.
We're not running 2, 3 trucks down to cover somebody with.
And mutual aid is like the majority of our fire call.
But does mutual aid require you to have 4?
Well, what they'll do.
Because if we go cover someone else's station, if
We
they have a
would-
call, we're the ones covering that.
We cover it.
So we have to have the equipment.
We have to have what we need to get town. But most of the time, the page goes off, if Guilford is saying, always got to work in fire, it goes to a second or third line.
Yeah.
We know we're going. We may go to Guilford, pick up a station, we may go to Dover Station, or they may say one engine and pack through to the scene.
Yeah.
So they didn't know you got a big fire. So they request what we want, especially if it's in town. Now, if it's out of the hydrant system, they may request 2 trucks, so it's the tanker and our engine. So it depends where we are fighting the fire, what they got. Most of the time, now it's all automated. It goes to first line, and if they confirm it is a structure fire, they go second and third, they just start calling towns for mutual aid, because we don't.
Yeah.
They're trying to beat all of them, so. So, knock
Right,
on
I'm
wood,
gonna
it's
try to
been
call him
decent
again.
last month. Things are settling down. We got calls this week. It's good to have Phil aboard, Phil's mom, Jamie's, it's mom's good to have these 2 guys.
I liked him, Phil, last night, he did most of the work.
Phil was, he's on it, he really. Yeah. And
2 minutes.
I tried to get him to make this as an operator because he didn't want to be in it.
It's weird, because I literally just spoke to him this morning, but
That is weird.
it's weird. He must have really, yeah. So, okay, so really what we need is to just the measurements for that truck and
The
then
specs that were.
we're the
Like I
specs.
said, this truck that I'm looking at now, and I just happened to find this and just like out of the blue, I said, hey, how much is this truck and can you do this? The front section can be added to it, the pump's all set up for it. I'm just waiting for the measurements for height wise,
Okay,
and as soon as I get them, then
Is that the 2007?
this, yeah,
Age of the trucks we have now.
the one that we're replacing is a 93.
Okay. 2007 just seems old, but I guess, yeah.
it's all,
Like you said, that, the yellow one was 2008, but it had nothing for miles. You know, that was the whole selling point with that truck, it's nothing for miles, it had no hours on it.
Yeah.
It pretty much sat in this fire station in New York and it might have gone out 4 or 5 times and that's it.
that was it. It's kind of a backup truck.
So that's, you know, like I said, I mean, Jeremy could find some, but it's a matter of how long we're waiting,
Right.
you know.
How many miles a year do you usually put on that truck?
It all depends on where we're going.
I mean, the one we're replacing has, what, 60,
62 or
62.
something like that.
So it's not a ton of miles, but it's the type of miles, I think, that they're getting put on it, it just gets beat up, right?
It's like anything, it does, you know, the trucks don't get to sit here and warm up before we take it off. It's cold
Fire up
start,
and go.
cold start and go, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, if we're gonna have to do something with this one fairly soon to get it inspected. We need to fix the
Will it get
fuel
inspected
tank
though?
straps, stuff like that. It's gotta be fixed or it won't pass inspection, so. I'm trying not to put any money in it, but they're gonna have to do something to get it inspected. He did add me to this, it's called Fire Truck Finder, and he set it all up, so if something's coming in, I'll get it before it hits the internet.
Yeah.
As soon as he knows he's getting it, I'll get it. I said, you must know. He said, no, he said, they won't tell us that. He said, because they know we'll be trying to sell them before we ever get them. I'm like, I get it, but
I was hoping that maybe we could tell him, you know, exactly what you guys are looking for, size specs and everything. And he could kind of earn his commission and start pounding the pavement, making some phone calls saying, hey, you guys looking to, you know, get into a new truck right off and.
Well, and that's what he indicated, but my guess, like, that's what he indicated to me. My guess is though that that's more the brokering part of it. They don't own those trucks necessarily. And so that's where we get into how much of our deposit would we lose if we went with one of those trucks. If it was the right situation and the right truck, it lost a little bit to get a newer
Yeah.
truck. I can totally understand that. But I also, none of those trucks would fall under the warranty, I think.
correct.
Yeah.
When we were-
Unless
when we
it's
were-
one of theirs, there's no warranty whatsoever.
Right, and when we were looking before we had made the deposit, like, I didn't clarify with him because he said given 4 months, he could find us any truck, cause he knows, they do know, like, the reason they like New York trucks is because they have more funds available and I guess the trucks are on a rotation, they replace them more often.
Yeah.
And so he knows, like, oh, they're gonna replace a truck, or he can call them and maybe get the wheels moving ahead of schedule, but.
So I guess if you guys can find out how much you're gonna lose,
Right, that would be the only.
So if I can talk to Jeremy tomorrow, what questions would you like me to ask him? I guess is really where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because I want to be as productive as possible because I know that you guys need a truck and we need to move forward with finding a truck.
like I said, it's probably, if we bought that truck, after looking at it, it's gonna work, and this is, it's not a piece of junk.
Right.
It's probably gonna take them 2 months to
Okay.
do the front section and add lettering and all
Okay.
that.
Right.
Like I said, I didn't realize how big Brindley Mountain was till I got there. I mean, they take fire trucks from everywhere and they actually refurbish them. New bodies, they have one whole shop, that's all they do.
Yeah.
They added
I mean, they had
5 more bays
six-
to the big building.
Six double bays and they added 5
They
more.
added 5 more to it. So they're huge.
Now, is their warranty the same on every single truck? I mean, because that warranty on that other one didn't really seem like
It was, I think
much of a warranty.
it was a warranty that is better than not having a warranty, I think, but I don't think it was all. Because it had a $3,000 trigger and a $12,000 max, they will go over the 12,000 to repair things, but that's sort of like
Up to their discretion.
their
Yeah.
discretion.
Cause I asked him that,
So-
and I didn't know that
Right.
until we went down there and he said that. And I said, what happens to the motor system? And he's like, well, obviously we'll help you guys out with that, but a lot of these places you look at, there's nothing, not anything's covered.
Right.
And then some of them is a powertrain warranty. Well, okay, well, that's great, but how much is that powertrain are you gonna cover? You know?
Right. And so I think that's not like, it doesn't, if we're getting a truck with low miles that's in great condition, that's a newer model, I'm less concerned about that warranty.
The warranty, yeah.
But I like on a truck that's a 2007, I think heck yeah, we want to take
And how long was that warranty?
1 year.
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
And if they were out for warranty anyway, it's 1 year,
Right.
unless you buy brand.
So I don't think it's the be all end all. I think it's a little bit of peace of mind in that if something goes wrong in that first year, I think it's a recognition. If something goes wrong in the first year, it was probably already.
Gonna happen.
And so they're, I think they're standing up and covering what they can. I mean, they're in the business, I think, to make money.
I mean, some of these trucks that you're seeing are not even that.
Right,
They're in
right.
position in other states.
Exactly.
They're just selling it for them, so they
Right.
haven't even looked at the truck.
Now, if you buy one of the trucks that's not theirs, does it go through Brindley Mountain? They don't go through it, they don't do anything?
I don't.
I don't think
That
they
was
offer it.
Yeah, that was another thing that I was thinking of because with talking with Jeremy, that's what it sounded like is that no, like, at least with these trucks, like they're gonna go
They
through it top to bottom
Like,
and make sure that everything's right. Right, and that adds to the whole price thing.
So I think there's a real advantage. I just, like, my biggest concern is the age of the truck. But I mean, if I could wish a truck into existence, I wouldn't wish for 2007, but
I think that.
But that's-
That was it. We were going below 2007.
right, it just doesn't seem like a lot of years. I mean, better than the truck we have certainly, but there's.
But I
nothing-
also think that, and this may be wishful thinking on my part, but when the time comes to replace the truck, because like looking on here, the newer they get, the taller they get.
Absolutely.
And so that it very limits us on what
I mean,
we
there
can,
are some-
and maybe
yeah.
in,
Yeah,
10, 12 years, we may have a different station. We may have a different
Right. No,
thought
absolutely.
process of where we can
Just so
park
that
it.
everybody- I mean, Sue was involved in all the meetings that we had before. Just so everybody's involved in this. The whole plan with this was a 10-year plan.
Right, I know.
10 years,
Yeah.
then
I heard you guys say
that's
that.
it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I just want everybody to be aware
Yeah.
of what we were talking.
So say in 10 years from now, there may be a new station, and so then there would be more trucks available to us where we're very limited, because I mean, just browsing through here and looking at what the height of the truck is, there's very few that fit within our
Correct.
tight,
Most stations now are 12 foot.
right. And they don't come in at an angle like this. And well,
Don't
yeah,
forget 12 foot building.
yeah,
They did get
they did good.
back in the day. Rip the pump out of the truck, it was.
Yeah, see, that's what we
That-
don't want to
That's when they
happen.
found that truck was fully insured.
Oh,
They
gosh,
weren't insured for what they bought them.
what they're valued at?
Yep.
Yeah.
Brought it back there.
Brought it to Dexter, brand new truck with the back. They hauled it.
Well,
She wasn't fit. She was gonna deliver it.
It's-
So they had to
I don't know
modify
the
it.
exact, like, what it is, but it goes, you lose an inch basically each foot of how long the truck is.
I'm just thinking, can we do something to the driveway?
Right, well,
But then DOT is gonna come in and.
Oh, yeah.
Too, so-
Yeah, they probably would, but you're gonna be 4 or 5 years before they do anything.
Hopefully
Yeah.
not. I know, yeah. So to get back to your question, it
Yes.
sounds like we need to tell Jeremy what length we can accommodate, height, and in terms of, we want a warranty. I mean, all the specs that you guys are
Right.
thinking, and then see what he can come up with.
yeah,
Um,
Well, it sounds like Chuck has had some of those. I think before you came in, Chuck had said that Jeremy is not aware of anything that's coming. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why he was so adamant before when we were talking to him that he could find trucks, except that at that point we weren't locked into a truck with a warranty. And so
Yeah.
if he could,
yeah, that was
That's the-
pre-deposit days.
I mean, not that we're
Right.
necessarily, depending on how much we would lose, I still am open to the idea of going with a newer truck, but I hear what Chuck's
Saying, yeah.
saying and what you're saying, that, it was a 10-year plan. And I think it's more important that we get something.
Right,
sooner
because
rather than
otherwise
later.
we're gonna be putting more money into a truck that
Right.
we're gonna be disposing of and losing some of our deposit.
And you're not gonna.
So there's money on
Yeah.
both ends there.
And you don't know how much it's gonna cost to fix this one.
Right.
To get it up to specs, for inspected.
Just to
And
be
then when it sits
inspected.
down the road, something don't crap on it. You just don't know what it's gonna do.
Right.
I mean,
So as far as what we need to ask Jeremy, yeah, I mean, I think what Sue said, I think,
He's got a good idea.
I mean, he knows
What we
all the
want,
specs.
the specs that we need to promote to the fight fire,
Right.
it's just
right.
our truck, what we need on it, not
Mhm.
fancy, but what we need to stand with the standards we need to fight fire.
Absolutely.
Like Chuck found that one, I mean,
I just have to
I'm
look.
for it for the front section, but when we got talking about it, it wasn't there, and I know you said the piping was there, but I got thinking, okay, this ain't 15 to 20,000, they can put it on there. Now, if we get an itemized bill after the truck and the town says,
That's
oh,
what I'm
price.
telling you.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
No,
And I know what you're saying, but I don't wanna go through this whole.
I don't
piece
either.
again.
no, Terry, I absolutely don't. I wanna find a truck that makes sense and
Right.
that, like, I don't think there's, like, I'm not gonna be troubled if somebody comes to me and says, well, why'd we have to add front suction? I can explain that.
With
If
that.
somebody comes to me and said, why didn't you tell us we were spending 25,000 on a paint job? Who cares if it's a yellow truck? And there's a big difference to my mind.
Yeah, we were, a little bit, that's what.
So I think if we had gone into it with the different, I mean, the truck wouldn't fit in the building as it turned out.
Right.
But if we had gone into it with a different conversation where that was something we knew up front and it was presented differently, I think I would have been in a much different space with
He
that.
said, I had no conversation with Jeremy prior to me flying down there and talking to him on the phone.
Right.
Alls I know is that a phone call was made and said, hey, what do you got? And he said, oh, I get a perfect truck, this, that. And he said, well, I really don't like yellow. Oh, we'll throw that in the package deal.
Right.
And at that point, it was 331, delivered, painted, anything we wanted done to the truck.
Right.
And then you guys had that conversation as far
Right.
as, what if we don't paint the truck?
Right.
And he said it'd be $25,000 less.
Right.
right,
And we talked to him the night before that, and he said, no, we're not dropping that price any higher, lower than where we're at.
Right.
And that, when he said that you could get it for the 300,
Right.
I was like, oh,
Right.
okay.
So I don't know if that is everything you need, Elena. Apparently he's not gonna answer the phone tonight. I
Apparently
don't wanna
not.
waste anybody's time. I
Right.
know these guys have to get to Dover. But we need to get those answers for the.
yeah. So I'll call him
specs on-
tomorrow, and I'm hoping that he'll answer. I'm sure he will. But so I'll call him tomorrow, and I'll check with him to see if he has the measurements back. And I still have the measurements that I had taken with Jeff as to how tall the truck can be at what angle, and depending on how.
It had to be 10 feet.
Yeah.
That's what I told him.
Yeah.
Because when you said that, Phil and I come up here that night and started measuring around. Well, if you measure, we use the tank truck. If you measure that from the ground up,
Yeah.
where it sits now, it's fine. But when you pull that out and back up so the rear wheels are right at the ramp.
Yeah.
Coming in the door, it changes it 8 inches. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna fit. And then he's like, he looked down and he's like, well, let's measure that. Nope, it won't.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly what we were kind of
And that
thinking.
yellow truck, because it had 10 feet from the back wheels to the back of the truck.
That
it's even
changed
that much
the-
higher. Right. So it probably would have been in the ceiling, which
Well.
we.
Yeah.
We got a new one then.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
like,
we tried every idea.
Yeah.
We tried, all right, can we take the door and go straight up? You know, have like a 12-inch opening and go
Right.
straight up with a 12-foot door. Because in the
Right.
station from the floor to the ceiling, 11-foot, 10.
Right. And they were even moving the springs to the back to give us more inches, and it still was just not enough. It, yeah. Yeah, so
When
Okay.
you're talking just millimeters and stuff, that
you just know, yeah.
There's gonna be a little.
You got somebody, you got somebody coming in a little bit too high, too fast.
10 feet and under, yeah. Okay.
You got a good slow going in.
4 inches of snow out here that's packed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then that one that you're looking at, that has a pretty big engine in it too, right?
515 Detroit, yeah.
So
690.
horsepower.
Oh, yeah,
Because you
yeah.
said before you wanted 450, right? Like at least. 'Cause
Plenty.
That's the other issue that I found with even some of the other trucks that I've looked at. It's, 350, 360 in that range, and then,
I drive a Trax every day, it's got a 515 in it, and a lot of times when I'm loaded, ain't enough power. And now you're adding, you're adding water, you're adding,
so,
yeah, most standard now is 450.
but that, I mean, it sounds like if it can fit, again.
And then, like I said, it was just an option, I saw the truck, I said, hey, what can you do, give me the height.
Okay.
And
So,
maybe he
somebody
can
would
give
say,
us like a list of trucks that are within our limits of, I mean, he knows what our price range is. He knows.
Or the price range.
But like in our price range and then our height limit,
And
and then just go from there, and then we can look at all of them and then
like
kind
I said,
of
I looked at it.
Right.
Have
Have, yeah.
warranty.
There aren't,
Yeah.
All
Too
of
bad.
it is the
what's the maximum height?
10 feet
10
on the
feet.
back of the truck.
on the back.
This one was, okay, 5, but you don't know.
But
It's-
so if you look, there's a ladder on the back. that you can
Right.
wicked.
Yeah, let's,
Yeah.
if you can click on that.
Yeah.
And then
When you move it, and then just, you get to the back of the truck eventually. Mine actually shows it up.
the clean truck.
Nice looking truck.
It's red.
Very clean. It's very clean, a lot of space, it's just, will it fit?
Does that say where that one came out of?
It says USA South.
Okay, see how
Right,
that-
yeah.
So I talked to
So
him, I
it's
said, can you just take these, because they make the couplings that go to it and go right straight. So yeah, right straight to the truck, get rid of that loop.
Right, yeah,
And he said, yeah, that's no big deal.
Because that would save us.
Right, but I need the measurement from here to there.
Yeah.
And then from here to here, he knows that. Because Elaine and him had talked, and
Yeah.
he sent those, and I said, I need the same measurements that you did in the other truck for this one.
good looking truck though, I mean, it's all good and clean, it's just a matter of will it fit?
Yeah. So the because the highest point in the back of the truck, and then from the middle of the rear wheel to the back of the truck is where we're
This truck is
into like,
shorter
yeah,
than the other one.
Right, it's shorter than the green one.
This is what, 30,
I want to say almost 2 feet shorter.
Yeah,
36?
3610.
a little bit shorter. Guess we could wait for Jimmy's, so we know.
Like I said, that's all, like I said,
Yeah.
I just said, hey, what are you getting for this, what are you asking for this truck? So
Yeah, the other one was 38.6. So almost 2 feet, 2 feet longer, shorter. Yes, I am. Yeah, I have to leave early tomorrow, but I'll reach out to him before I leave, obviously. And then I have to leave at 12:45. Okay,
He said, text me.
okay.
Just to get that back from the guys.
And then we'll just go from there.
Sometimes it takes a week to get them guys to do it. They can move the truck out, bring that truck in, so it's on.
We went down there, it was, like I said, the only thing was empty, was a new base they were building, everything else was full of fire trucks.
For
The
just
mechanic-
rotates continually.
Like I said, they
Mechanics they had down there, there's probably 15, 20 guys in that building working.
They were doing everything for,
Yeah.
they were doing the airport crash rescue truck.
This one?
Yeah, I believe that was asked, right? And he was like,
Oh,
he was
yes,
like,
even if it was
What tell you
$20,000.
What, nothing,
nothing.
Yeah.
nothing, everything,
What parts and pieces
all the lights,
He,
He said he'd give us scrap price, $3,000 for that.
They give us 3,000 back, but they delivered ours, if we just got it from them, he gave us 3,000 scrap, they take it right off our hands, load and go.
He said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it online for $5,000. And he said for 2 weeks, if it doesn't sell.
They scrap it. That's $3,000 for us, cause there's no way, I mean, it's a town truck, you can't bid it out, cause it won't be inspected, it can't be inspected.
Well, it's gotta be inspected, or we can't.
We can't run
Right.
it,
Have to
so.
fix it to inspect it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
10 grand, be like, I got a fire truck and.
A lot of people do it.
A lot of people do it.
Look at all the ones that buy the cop cars.
It was Jackson Brook, I think, was the place we had a chimney fire there.
Yeah,
Another one time. He said, yeah, we thought about buying a fire truck,
yeah.
so we had one up here. So you guys are gonna have to come try to get it through the road. And I'm like, okay, you better build a big garage to eat it. 'Cause
Right.
yeah,
Otherwise,
an empty truck ain't gonna do it, under a frozen truck.
I said, dude, for Dover, Bucket, he, Joe, dispatcher, he was freaking me one night, he says, I'll buy it. I said, what are you gonna do with that? He says, I'll clean it right up, and I'll put it on the front lawn, Dover, number 5, but I said, yeah, I just said that.
Christmas lights
I
on.
just said that, I bet Brian will have that all along.
You know, and like you said.
Okay, yeah,
I check daily anyway.
yeah,
There is one other company that I'm gonna reach out because I like the year of the truck, but they don't give you much. They don't give me no height, no length, how many miles, nothing. I'm like, okay, no price of the truck, and I'm like,
no information
so you
was
have
covered.
to literally call them.
Yeah.
I do a
I'm
whole
hoping
emails.
I'm hoping I go there, hoping, planning that this will happen by the end of June, July. So
Yeah.
it gives us a pretty good few months of training and warm weather to train.
Right.
It's like,
Jeremy knows that, so they're, in fall, that we have time to train instead of trying to do it in the middle of one time.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm with you on that. All right, well, I
Okay.
think we're
All right,
in.
I gotta go.
the-
counting.
all right, well, back.
Thank you both.
all right.
Yeah. It's weird that Jeremy wasn't.
Yeah. That it was,
Thank you, Chuck.
Chuck,
yeah,
would you go on to?
I'll probably be there.
Okay.
all right, so, I do have some stuff for you guys to sign, the school budget warrant. And ballot clerks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, under miscellaneous, did we want to add, like I saw your email about
Mhm.
town manager
Yeah.
position and.
That's what I was thinking when I added it on there
Yeah.
is just in case. Yeah,
Will you sign this on any of these lines?
sure. If there,
Like, there's 6 lines.
yeah,
But I saw your email too about having a second, a special town meeting.
yes.
Because
Yeah.
I was wondering when I was
Because
talking
we
to
were-
James about.
Yeah, so we were thinking that we could put it in the Piscataquis Observer because we thought it came out on Wednesdays and that would line up, but it actually comes out on Fridays and where it has to be in the paper 12 and then 7 days, we don't have that to do. So we're gonna have to have another one anyway, so I figured that would give us a little bit of
do
time
the
to
Solar ordinance.
the fire department one. So it would give us a little bit more time to read through and really like fine tooth comb what we are looking for an ordinance.
Right.
And maybe it's even having a planning session to go through and come up with an ordinance.
Yeah.
Jack. Jack Kluge, the town manager. Yep. And then I don't remember the Greenville person. I just emailed them
He was here at that meeting. It was.
because John Simcoe was the one that reached out to me and said that he
John, can
Helped.
help you get it?
well, he gave me Jack's email. So then I was like, okay, I'll just email Jack. And then I called and left a voicemail and I didn't get anything back. So I was like, okay, I would think so, but maybe not because I don't know. But it's not on their website and every other ordinance is on their website. So I'm like, what the heck? Why would this one not be? But maybe it's because it's a department.
Wait a minute, Jeff Kluge's Greenville?
No, that's Dover.
Dover, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were talking Greenville.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, but I feel like we have a pretty good sense of what it should look like, what it entails what most of them entail really. It's just more fine tuning like what we like the whole fire chief situation. No, the 3 years, if we want to continue the 3 years or yes, those are ballot clerks. I think you guys need to make a motion to sign that.
Oh, this one?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll make a motion
Okay.
to accept the school budget warrant as written.
Okay.
Second.
Second, okay, any discussion?
No.
Yeah, all in favor?
Accept and sign
Do we have to do the same thing with these?
budget.
Those are,
With ballot clerk, do we need to make a motion to all of that?
I believe we do.
While we're at it, I make a motion to accept, all of the ballot clerks, Kathy Anderson, Cindy Lavardi, Cindy Rantha, Ed Hoover, Cynthia Turner.
A second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
See, Jonathan, you're starting to pick up on this stuff.
Look at that. It's just, it's osmosis from, because I sit next to Sue.
We have to date, the date that we're signing this?
Yes, I
Okay.
think so.
And it's the 16th.
16th, yeah.
16th day.
All right.
That's all right.
See, that's why she gets the big one.
I don't know if it's that big, but that's okay. Okay.
I hope I didn't speak out of turn when they asked about the front suction. I feel like that's completely different than.
It is completely different.
What's that?
I feel it's
Well,
completely
they
different.
asked about the front suction, if we
No,
were
that-
gonna take them to a town meeting, that the front suction, and I said, no, of course not. We did with the paint because that's a discretionary expense versus
It's a
Something
different,
that's
front
needed.
suction is,
Yeah.
I mean, I heard Timmy say it's not absolutely necessary. It wouldn't make or break whether they could use the truck, but.
But if it's gonna make their life
highly
more difficult.
preferred. And there are some places they couldn't use it without front suction is what I'm in Willimantic. I wish there was a newer truck than that. Like
I know.
2007.
I know. And
That's a little
I
too
feel like
close for
we're
the trucks
pushed.
we're dumping.
But if you look at that, the price of that one and then the price of that 2018 one, it's not that much more money.
I know. No, that's where, I don't care that it's only 9'4" too. We don't even have to worry about the size of it. The one thing, it's only a 360 horsepower motor, but I mean, it's a fire truck. It's not a race car. Like, I do know that they complain, like when they come up out of Willimantic, up the big hill, like, you know, they're going 5 miles an hour by the time they get to the top. Well,
But
that's
you're on your way home.
right, and that's the price of doing your business.
You can, going downhill, you can make up that time.
But to my mind, it's less than 100,000. I mean, it doesn't have front suction like that. 2018 doesn't have front suction, but it has 4 CBA seats. It has, and that's where I would go to the town and I would ask for an additional 20 grand for front suction if that one can be piped for front suction.
What is
Like-
front section?
It means that they can pull forward to the hydrant, the dry hydrants, and they can connect right there. And see, this is where I don't know if I can trust what I was told before, but it means when they pull into to a fire, they can set up in a way that they don't ever have to move the engine or something, like they can put the tank behind, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not a
Right.
firefighter.
But also having the side as an option too,
Right.
like they were talking about.
Yeah.
I
That's
say most of them come with
with
either side
Side.
suction and rear suction.
A lot of them come with both driver and officer side. Front and rear are a little less
right.
common, but they usually, a lot of them come with rear. I don't know why they don't all come with front. But for 335, if you could get a 2018, that's my biggest thing is the year of this truck. It seems like an awful lot of money for a truck that's,
It does the 2018 have more miles?
no, it has 7,000 miles on
There's less miles.
it. Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's because it's a commercial pumper. It's not a custom pumper. Like a custom pumper means that it was built custom for somebody. A commercial pumper means it's produced and sold as is, kind of like, and it's a commercial frame versus a fire attack frame or whatever they call it. But it's not their truck is the other part.
That's
That's what I
the
asked.
thing.
How much are we gonna lose if it's
So do you want me to ask that question?
yes, absolutely, yeah. How much are we gonna lose? If we're gonna lose 15 or 20, I'd still be tempted by a 2018.
Yeah.
Like versus big deal. Like I don't think the warranties, I was trying not to disparage the warranty. I don't think it's not a deal breaker for me.
I mean, and does that say if that $12,000 cap? So say you have one thing that breaks down, costs you $6,000, and you have something else that breaks down that costs you another $6,000, is that the end of all your warranty? Or will they keep doing
Each item
each item?
has a $12,000 cap. So each thing that goes wrong, like it's
And my biggest thing is it's only a year.
it's only a year, and honestly, like if something, it's designed in such a way that if something small breaks, it's not covered.
Yeah.
It's $3,000 trigger, and it's designed so they at least have deniability for anything major. Like there's a very small window of things I would think on a fire truck that can break that fall in that window between 3 and 12,000.
Yeah.
And being told that they'll go over that 12,000, that's not what it says in the fine print. Like,
They
and so
can say
they
that.
could go over 12,000. They could also say, "Oh, 12,001. Sorry,
Yeah.
we're not helping you." So I go back and forth on that. But this is the truck, so it's only, oh, this one's 9'11", not 9'4", but 7,000 miles. It has 900 engine hours.
Okay, so
1,000, like it's everything. The only issue is it doesn't have front suction. It
Oh,
does
no.
not have a warranty because it's
And so depending on how much they're asking, if we lose some of our down payment because that is not through them,
right.
it's 335.
335. But I mean, this is the one that they're brokering, but not one that they have
So-
on site. So it might, like the costs involved in this one might be more. I don't know. We might have to go fly, and I bet you that's him.
Is it Jeremy?
It is.
Are they an hour? Is he an hour?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
But I told him it was Eastern time, so. Monson Town Office. Hi. Hi, Jeremy. It is. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, so our fire chiefs and assistant fire chief have left, but I was going to give you a call tomorrow anyways to ask a couple of questions, but if you have time, or I can give you a call tomorrow, it's up to you. Okay. So we would like to know, and I know that you can't answer this question right now, but we would like to know how much of our deposit would we lose if we purchased a truck that wasn't under warranty,
They don't.
that you don't own, because we are looking at some other trucks that are on your website, but not ones that come with a warranty. and we had a couple in mind, but we were willing to lose some of our deposit if it meant we could get a newer truck in our price range and also within our height range, if depending on how much of that deposit we would lose. Okay.
34.
Okay. Right.
34.
In it so far. One is just the amount of time that we've spent in phone calls and emails, and there's an investment there. We're happy to make it, but that would be one of the expenses.
Yep.
Another expense would be the inspection visit with, again, time for a couple of days and hotel rooms and meals.
Right.
The truck that you were purchasing had a light tower on it.
Right.
That's about a $20,000-ish addition. We've already removed the light tower and the shroud. Now, we still have them, but there was programming that had to happen to get them removed. So when we removed them, the system still thought it was there, so we had to get electrical programming done. I do have another fire department that showed interest in the truck, and I lost that interest today because the truck doesn't have the light tower on it, and I can't afford to put it back on it and get it into their price range.
Right.
So again, we don't want to take advantage of the fact that you made a deposit.
Right.
There has been some very real costs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would start with maybe send me an email with the trucks that you found that are broker trucks.
Okay.
That are not owned by us, and let me see what we can do about finding a truck like that in inventory, or potentially even we've got big reach in the industry, so it's not out of the question that we could buy a truck and resell it, something like that. So we would try to be creative. So maybe if you could start with showing me what you have.
Okay.
Let me see what we can do about trying to find that, and then if one of those is the right truck, we'll just do our best to help you with as much of the deposit as we can so you can get the truck that you want.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what I'll do is I will send you the truck that we were just looking at, that we had in mind, because we are looking, I think Chuck reached out to you for measurements on another truck. And so like that is a nice truck. We're just trying to get a newer, newer version of that truck, or something similar to that, because we have to stay within the 10 feet and under clearance in the back.
If you'll do that, if you'll send me the truck or to the truck, it sounds like the truck that you're mainly interested in. Send me that, and let me see what we can do on our end with that, and then I guess I'll go ahead and start the process of like getting some kind of an assessment of how much money we currently have in the deal. How much we've invested roughly. You know, we're going to be speculating on that. You don't know.
Right.
You can't figure time and miss truck sale opportunities and all that. But we'll do our best to get a number that we and try to be fair with you. And if we can't find another option, try to help you as much as we can so that you can try to get the truck you want.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, I guess that's a good starting point for us.
Hey, Jeremy, real quick, it's Jonathan Pullen. We've spoken a couple of times. Thank you so much for your continued help with this. So the trucks that we've been looking at, nothing like is set in stone. What I know Chuck likes that 2007. We were just thinking if there's something newer, and if there's anything you would recommend. Chuck said you have all the specs, like the things that we're looking for that it has to have.
Yes.
And he also indicated that you weren't aware of anything that was necessarily coming down the road that would be coming in the near term that would fit what
That's the other thing I'm going to do. We don't tend to know about them ahead of time too much because I'm a commissioned salesperson, and if they let me know about it, I'll start pitching it even before we own it.
Right.
So they don't give us a ton of information on that, but yes, I do have a few ways that I can check on that, and so that's what I'll do when I see the truck. I do think the 07 that I've talked to Chuck about will fit and is an option, but I understand your desire to spend your money as well as you can and get as new as you can. So when I see the other one, that will help me to have a better understanding of what's out there and what y'all are going for,
Okay.
and see if I can do something with that truck or to see if potentially we have something else
Well,
coming in.
the one that we're looking at it's a 2018. It's a Freightliner commercial pumper, and I'm not sure how. Like honestly, it's not something that the Terry and Chuck have even really looked at yet. I'm not sure how it meets all the specs. It's just one that we happen to click on, and the height's right. It's got the seating capacity that they wanted. It's got some of the stuff, but I know like it's only a 360 horsepower engine, and I know they want something bigger than that. So it's not something that like it's necessarily like that's the one we want. It's just we're trying to come up with 2 or 3 options, so we're not doing the same thing that we did last time where we lock ourselves into a single choice and then tell you to pull the trigger on it and then discover that it doesn't fit in the building. Because I know how much time I've put into it, and you have to have put in way more time. And so we want to be, as respectful of that as possible. We know that you're going above and beyond for us, a little town in Maine, and I can't say how much I appreciate that. I wish that we had this information before you had done the work that you've already done on that truck.
Thanks for saying that, and yeah, the difficult situation that you guys have found yourself in, not through your own choices. I mean, and that's not the cast aspersions on the previous chief or the guy. We're just trying to find the truck that they thought were the best one. We get into these kind of situations. It's not completely uncommon. A few times a year when the chief and the administrative and fire department administration have different ideas. I do think if I was looking at commercial trucks, and if you go with a commercial truck, that is going to give you the opportunity newer for the money. So if that's what you want, please still do send me that
Okay.
broker truck, but that's going to open up trucks for me because I was not looking for commercial, and that is going to be a less expensive
Right.
Okay.
way to go.
I don't think we're opposed to any ideas at
Right.
this point.
I think we just kind of want all of the options that are available to us at this time and kind of get the best deal that we can for the truck that we're getting, because I mean, like we said, we're a small town, we don't have a lot of money, and we don't have a lot of money to replace it in a few years either.
We also don't have we've got a truck right now that's in service that's not inspectable the way that it sits, and it's up for an inspection, and so we are also on the clock.
A time crunch too.
So because we don't want to spend a bunch of money on the truck that we have to get it inspected to then have a new for us truck come in that replaces it. So if you can, if you have ideas, we'll send you this truck, and then if you have ideas,
Send them.
or other trucks that you know about, we would really appreciate anything you can give us, and then we'll sit down and make a choice so we can get this ball rolling.
Yeah, that sounds great. I really think we can. Just dealership in the country, and usually if the specs are, and if we can't, we'll figure out something to help you as much as we can with refunding as much of the deposit as we can, so y'all can go buy a broker truck if we just can't come up with something. But yeah, if y'all will send me an email on that, I'll jump on that first thing in the morning and see what we have and try to get some good options out to you.
Okay,
All right, perfect. Thank you, Jeremy.
Okay, glad to help. Sorry again for missing the call.
that's okay. Thank you for calling back.
Okay, y'all have a good evening.
You as
too.
well.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, I hope you don't mind I jumped.
No, that's helpful.
So just reiterate, commercial versus custom, like what,
A commercial it's a commercial, like it's,
they
Comes
built
off the
it,
assembly line, just one right
Yeah.
after
Well,
another.
and it's a truck that Freightliner builds. It's not a fire truck when it starts out. It's a commercial chassis, like
okay,
the custom trucks that you see, like all of these are custom, and it's a different type of frame, and it's more expensive because it's basically you would come through and you tell them what you want, and they build the exact truck that you want, and that's where you see the giant cabs. Those are always
Yeah.
custom.
so.
Stuff I've learned in the last.
I'm wondering too, so a commercial, would be just, I mean, it would still meet the specs that we need, and
Yes.
it wouldn't be any less quality.
The only question I have is if it can be front suction. I did find others as I was looking through. There are other commercial Freightliners and other trucks that are in there. That's just one. They tend to be shorter, although there are some that are giant.
Say that mini
And-
one I was looking at the other day, I think that had front suction on it, but it only had like a 400-gallon tank on it.
Yeah, and then the cab capacity,
A
a lot of
commercial
them
trucks
are
just
two people. So you do have to look at that
Yeah.
too.
You gotta click and read, or like sometimes you can tell in the picture if it's a commercial, if it's a two-person cab.
Right.
I still question the need, and I get when they go to a mutual aid call.
But the only reason I would fight this is because the majority of our fire calls are mutual aid. So
Right.
we're gonna be paying for two trucks to
Yeah,
roll
sure.
on the majority of our calls.
That's true. It's true. I just know how many times when we were talking, when I was in that office and talking with Ryan and Bill, and on the one hand, he would say, we go with the first two guys that show up. That's calls that we're going direct,
Right.
not mutual aid calls. It changes.
And mutual aid
Um,
is
So-
such a huge cost factor.
Right. So I do think that, I think send him that truck. Just
Do you wanna send me that truck so that?
reiterate to him that, I don't, I really
Just
don't.
to have ideas, and I will send him even though he already has it, the 2007 1.2, just so that he sees, like, these are the two kinds of trucks that we're looking at. Do you have anything in between these two trucks? Do you have anything similar to this truck? Do you have something similar to this truck? Just so
It's
that
going
we
to the
have
finance one,
that
'cause that's
per-
what I have.
beautiful.
And then it's just the clickable.
Okay,
And
beautiful.
I did like the fact that, started saying, commercial line truck. I mean, it's just like, oh, well, I never even looked at it.
I know.
Right.
That's
Why?
because they want, I think they've got this in their head that they need a custom.
Is that what they really told me? We want a custom?
Yes, I think it is. And I think we have to be willing to look at commercial. I wish I'd made that clearer when Chuck and Terry were sitting here, because I don't want to do anything that's not.
But they were open to your truck until
Right.
It didn't have a
until
warranty.
it didn't have a warranty. So
Right.
they
I
didn't
think
shut
they're
it
more
down.
Concerned with if it doesn't have, if it has a commercial cab, just two-person cab, and if
That's-
it doesn't have, but some of the Freightliners have a 2,000-gallon tank. Some of them have because it's all tank capacity, or it's all they're not quite. They don't have all the bells and whistles that.
Yeah.
Some you're not going to find one that has the cab on it where you can change in the cab on the way to the spot. Like some of those cabs, the one that they're looking at, that's a gigantic. It's a room.
I was wondering, yeah.
So, and that's the custom part of it. Like you can stand up in the cab and put on gear. That's not going to be the case with
But I mean, if they're thinking that our only options are warranty trucks. So in
Right.
the warranty trucks section, that 2007 is probably
It's the best option.
best option.
Yep.
So I feel like they're doing their due diligence.
Absolutely, I would agree with that. I
And
didn't see
I just,
anything.
you know, they're not kind of looking different directions. They're kind of focused on.
But I also feel like they think that if they were to suggest not getting some of our deposit back, it would make them
Right,
look
right.
different.
But, you know, I'm also curious what, they're willing to negotiate down. Like the
Right.
size of the cab.
Well, and they did from the yellow truck to what we're looking at now. We're looking at like 4 to 6 versus 8.
Mhm.
So they are, but the 4 is really like they don't want to go less than 4.
And you're thinking,
Like
to agree with that for mutual aid.
Right, because I mean, even looking at our data, like a lot of our calls are mutual. I mean, 16 fires last year were.
This one looks awesome, like to me, but it's only a 2-person cab. It's a 2,000-gallon tank, which would eliminate the need for one of our tankers potentially. Although I heard them say that we could gift that to Bauer Bank, I'm all about it. I don't understand why we can't sell it.
Because it was gifted to us.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's not as good as the one that we have that we use.
No, the other one's just a tanker. That's a rescue tank.
No, we have 2 tankers, don't we?
The one that's over there now,
Yeah.
That's a rescue tanker?
that's a rescue
Yeah.
tank.
Oh, okay.
And this one was just a strictly
Tanker. Yeah.
It has more than a water tank on it. It's got all the gizmos
Some-
and gadgets and
to be a
stuff.
fire truck too?
I need to go to fire department.
Believe me, I have learned more about fire trucks and more about roads.
I've
Yeah.
never been in there.
I talked to Terry about that, and you know, him or Chuck would be more than willing to, you know, kind of go over everything. You know, this is what we need this for. This is why we need this. And
I wasn't kidding when I told Terry at one point, like, if the door's open, I want people walking by to feel like they can stop and talk with you guys. I want it to be inviting. Like the fact that it was like just people hanging out smoking in front.
Smoking.
So I was gonna suggest this one.
Yes, yeah.
No, it's orange. I
Oh,
think.
it's orange. Oh, it's red and yellow.
No, like I do think they are doing the best. Like there's just not a lot under the warranty section. I
Right.
was super disappointed when he showed me that trick and I pulled it up and there's like,
A handful.
although your 4x4 mini pumpers here.
And Jeremy knows now what we're looking for, and like he said, he can put his feelers out and find something. So we can see what he
Yeah.
does.
So I'll send him those 2 trucks tomorrow and just let him know, like, and I will probably tell him, like, ask him if front suction could be added to that truck that you asked.
I love the fact that we're putting down another truck to make it fit. Like that scares the Jesus out of me. Because like if they mismeasure something and the fact that we're like 10 feet at the back of the truck, it's hard for me to trust right now.
Mhm.
And like how far back? Like, cause if they measure at the very back and it's 10 feet.
But if
like-
it, but the 10-2, so if it was cut to 10,
I would like to see it be the exact same
size that we
height and distance from the back wheel wells to the back of it as the one that's in there, because you know that is gonna fit, no matter what. You know, because we do not want to get into,
unless they add some of the
Infrastructure.
wheelbase to the front of the truck. Because then it could still be longer at the front of the truck.
yeah. But normally your vehicle.
I thought that too. I thought that too until I was measuring with Jeff, and then some of my measurements weren't right because they add length to the front and the back of the fire trucks.
Jesus.
It's so hard.
It is so.
Well, and this one, this is basically the same comfort that they're looking at. It's a 2012, but it's got 126,000 miles, and I don't think that's that. In a normal truck, I don't think that would be the end of the discussion.
But fire trucks
it's
are
got-
different.
11,000 engine hours. It doesn't even tell you how many pump hours it has. Oh yeah, it's got 630 pump hours, which
That,
doesn't sound bad to
Doesn't.
me.
man, but I couldn't say for sure whether or not that was bad, but it doesn't seem
Right.
like a lot of hours. You know, figure on all your training.
Like
you
I
know,
feel
with
like if this truck was used in, depending on where it was used in the country, 100,000 miles on a diesel engine isn't anything. Like,
No, if it was something down south where there's no roads all,
right. Like otherwise, you could end up in the same situation where, but
The whole height situation really limits a
I
lot.
was just gonna say, if he can find us the dimensions that we need, and then Chuck and Terry, you know, we can sit down and look at all
Yeah.
the other specs of the options.
I mean, the other thing is there are some high, and I'll have to go through and I'll find them and I'll email you. There are some higher mileage trucks that are under 200,000. And if we could do, like, if that 2007 was gonna be 200,000 instead of 300,000, like that seems like a lot of money to me for a truck that is even older than the one we were looking at before. Like, but I also think they're working just as hard as we are to try to find something. Like I don't,
But
and I
yeah,
feel like they're
they are
telling me the
looking,
truth.
yeah.
too. It's just hard to trust.
Well, and I think that they're working with not a lot of resources. And so like
not a lot of resources.
not a lot of time. Like all of the things are lining up to be like very similar to me just buying a house this past fall. I was forced into buying a house in the worst market possible. Yeah, I know. I looked up.
Our truck is back up.
You know, when he was saying like what they lost in taking the lights off and another
No,
buyer interested in it, I'm thinking, man, we're not being recorded.
well, he didn't say it, but he wanted to.